Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back to the show. Ray Wood here. Thank you for joining us. And I'm with my buddy, Christian Bartley from Ocean Grove in beautiful Victoria. Christian, welcome to the show. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Ray. And it is beautiful Victoria today.
Right.
It's
Okay.
sunny. And it's,
Yeah.
20. We had 25 degrees yesterday, so we've got another day, which is good for April.
Now, have you been for a surf this morning?
No, I've had a look at it though. It's too small.
Right. Okay.
Way too
Yep.
small. Yeah, yeah.
No,
No, I ran up around the ocean this morning, so
nothing under 10
beautiful.
feet.
No, it's like not even 1 foot today. So
Christian, can you just, for the three Australian real estate agents that don't know about you, can you give us just a bit of backstory, please, and just fill in the gaps for everybody? Just give us a brief history of
yeah, yeah.
your
How long? How much time have we got, Ray?
all the time in the world, buddy.
Okay, so I'll
I
try
want
and
to
keep.
talk about real mentors, so don't
Yeah,
take
yeah,
too
yeah.
much time.
Okay, real short. Born and bred in Sydney, landed in Victoria in 2000s because my wife, her family's from down here. I got into real estate in Ocean Grove in 2002. And then across the side of the river from Ocean Grove is Barwon Heads. And I moved over to the office there, which my boss at that particular time, he also owned. And he put me into that position to be the branch manager in 2004. Now, one of the hurdles of real estate is that I saw when I got into it, I was 25 years of age, then moved across the river to Barwon Heads at 27. I didn't have relationships with anyone because, as I said, I was born and bred in Sydney, and real estate's all about relationships. So, what my goal was to form a really professional relationship and differentiate myself compared to any other agencies and
Yep.
provide content that was relative to the owners of all the properties around there and inform them about what was occurring in the marketplace, which I'd realised that a lot of agents weren't doing, and a lot of agents just sat back and waited for the phone to ring and waited for a natural amount of inquiries that to come in because of they knew who they were. I didn't have that, and I needed to create the inquiries myself. So I worked my butt off, I worked my ass off, and I worked very hard. And I created a lot of communication pieces and implemented my own systems to communicate to the marketplace in Barwon Heads. Now, when I say that, it's just a name, but it's a beautiful little town bounded by the river and the beach and the coastal area and farmlands and golf courses. Now, there's 2,000 houses in Barwon Heads. There's about 3,500 people. It's a little bit more than that now, but I had that as my patch, and that was my area. And what I did was realize that certain prices in that town of Barwon Heads were differentiated, from about 1 kilometre to 2 kilometres apart. Some were at 800,000, some were at $1.2 million. When I started, they were around about 400,000, and others were 900,000, and so forth. And as years have gone on, those prices have climbed and increased. But one of the great things that I'm known for is that I broke that area down into area codes, and I broke Barwon Heads into 13 different areas. So I segmented the absolute town into prices and coded it, and then built a database based around those area codes. And every single homeowner that was in my database was attached to an area code. So they were either area 1, area 4, area 8, or area 12. But what that allowed me to do was every time that there was a listing, every time that we got a sale or we had an auction or we did an open for inspection, we communicated to Area 4 about that particular property just to Area 4. We didn't distribute a heap of communication out to the rest of the marketplace. We just did it to Area 4 because it was relevant
Relevant.
to the is in that particular area.
Yep.
So forth. As we would list a property in area 1, we'd continue to do the same and so forth around the whole town. But
Yep.
we had a communication stream of SMS and email, letterbox drop going out. And then you've got your key people that you're phoning as well. So that was a system that I developed. And from doing that, and then not only the lead generation system and a process and segmenting and micro marketing it down like that, I knew that I had to become an expert at listing and doing an appraisal and presenting a value and what my point of difference was going to be for them to actually list with me. In 2011, I created my own brand and designed it and founded a company called Bellarine Property, which still exists today. I finished up on the 1st of August in 2025 after 14 and a half years of starting the brand and building that. And I did it I created a team structured business based on geographical areas. So I had a team operating Barwon Heads, I had a team operating Ocean Grove, and I had a team operating on the northern side of Bellarine. But what I mean about teams is that they actually shared the commission. They pooled the commission. So I, as a managing director, as the owner of the company, I handed out 43% to a team.
Right,
3% were marketing fund. 40% was divided in between those agents that was on a predetermined commission rate when they were hired and employed.
right.
Now, some of the agents came in as buyer agents, and some came in as vendor managers,
Yeah,
and then there was administrative people as well. Now, it just worked because they could collaborate together, they could assist each other. It was a team environment. No one owned the client. If I listed a property, I could ring Levi, I could ring Peter and say, I've just listed this, can you ring your buyers? And then they would sell it. They would get the same amount of commission whether they sold it or I sold it and I
yeah,
listed
and
it.
vice versa.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter. So
yeah,
we all work together. And when someone got an offer on a property, we would inform each other about what the offer was, and then we would instruct the agents. Well, let's just all go back to your buyers and tell them that there's an offer, get the best possible price. When you do that, and when you're operating like that for the best part of the vendor and the vendor knows that you are extracting the best possible price in the marketplace. There's not another dollar out there because there's no fight over who's going to earn what commission because whose buyer is going to buy a property.
which happens in
And
so many offices.
so it's the traditional way. It's how real estate's always
Yeah,
been set up, and it's a
yeah,
business within a business. We had a team within our business.
yeah.
But from starting a company like that in 2011, we went to we had market share. We got up to 80% market share in Barwon Heads, and then we also got up to 40% in Ocean Grove at one particular time. Why did we do that? Why does everyone got the same houses, the same photography people, the same community, the same humans? It was because we acted differently and we
Hmm.
communicated differently and we worked as a team. We also did different things, and I'm an innovative and creative person when it comes to marketing. Well, I did things different to everyone else. So we took our market share and we were successful, and still are. The business is running extremely well. We've got a high market share now, and I've created a lot of systems in the business. And because I know a lot of people go to training sessions, they sit there for a day or 2 days or 3 days, and then they're so pumped up and so motivated, and they get all these ideas. But then they go back to the business and they continue to do vendor reviews, appraisals, buyer appointments, open for inspections, auctions, and everything that they learned and took on board, they don't implement.
No.
So I did, and I continued to go to a lot of seminars and sessions and looked up to mentors and took a lot out of training. But I came back and executed and implemented so many systems in my business that allowed the business to grow exponentially and just fast because I implemented things, and I didn't want to be working in the business forever. I wanted to be working on it. And so to do that, I didn't want to stand it open for inspections and on every Saturday. So the only way to do that was to get myself out of working in it and work on it and work on all the systems and grow the market share and grow the brand and further that around the Bellarine Peninsula.
Yeah,
And along with my brain doing that, and then along with the great humans that I employed to actually act as the agents and be the agents out there performing,
yeah.
who became well trained and skilled at what they did as a combined effort. It wasn't just me, it was a combined effort with everyone, but it just became a brilliant, brilliant team.
I want to just call out how to contact you. I want to mention how to contact you because a lot of podcast hosts leave this to right at the end. So, guys, if you're looking for some more information, in fact, check out Christian's website, which is Real Mentor, Mentor, Real, Real, mentor.com.au, and you'll be able to reach out and make a connection with Christian there and on the page. Mate, what about when I know you were like you talked about your marketing before, you were very innovative and very creative in the marketing. You guys were the first to, I remember you were doing the videos with Levi in and out of the pool. That's one of the early ones I remember when nobody
Yeah,
was really doing video or just walking through the house and going, this is the living room, this is the kitchen, really.
yeah,
But yours were completely out of left field. And I think you were one of the first to use drones as well back in the day.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Seems so long ago
yeah.
now, but those, I mean, not a lot of people have the courage to do that, like that departure, and just dare to be different and be noticed. So I always thought that was kind of refreshing.
Yeah, look, I saw it as a marketing angle. Yeah, I do always, try to be different in an approach. You got to be professional as well, but you've got to capture the attention. And if it's different and if it's got eyeballs on it, then you've got more ammunition to talk to a vendor about how many buyers have seen that video.
Yeah.
And a vendor wants every opportunity to maximize the eyeballs onto a listing and onto a property. Now, you've got an option of doing a standard video, or you've got an option of being a creative video that's going to increase the views. So I chose the later and began executing that because that's just how my brain operates. I think outside the square quite often, and I can just get mesmerized in my own thoughts, whether I'm in, sleep at 3 a.m. in the morning, having a shower, driving a car, wherever it is. I get an
Yep.
idea and I can't help myself, but I have to execute it. So the one that you were talking about with Levi, I was actually meant to be doing that video myself that day, but I got caught up to the Vic Open to play in the Pro Am, which I know sounds silly, but obviously said yes to do that.
Of course.
And it was such a beautiful day. And so I had to say to Levi, look, this is the concept. I need you to do this because the sun's out and it's going to be perfect. He'd only just started in real estate. He'd only been in it for
Yep.
like 3 months. And when I
Yep.
was telling him, I remember he goes, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Yeah." Because today, if I said it to him, he'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, no worries," because everyone's doing the same similar thing, right? They're
Yeah.
riding bikes, whatever. And I said, "But the house is near the river, so I want you to go down on the sand. The drone's going to go up and follow you back, flying over, because we want to showcase how long it takes you to run from the river back to the house, which is then selling the lifestyle
That's
about
right.
why someone done
That's
that."
right. Yeah.
And
In his
so
board
get down
shorts.
there in his shorts. And I'm so glad that he did it and I didn't do it because he did it exceptionally
Yeah.
well. I
Yeah.
still to this day believe that he pulled it off way better than I would have. And anyway, it went on to the national news. It got coverage that way because it was being different. And that was in 2014. But prior to that, I did another one which was even bigger, and I actually had actors in it,
Right.
and I had a Rolls Royce limousine come into it as well, and a butler, and I showcased this property. But ride with me here this was on a 5 acre property with a pool, basketball, horse cart rooms. It was like a butler's it was like servants live there, right? So I had this massive Rolls Royce limousine come in. The video's online somewhere, but anyway, and then I had like a butler open the door with the crew come out, and I had these actors dreaming of a new house, and I had champagne in there, and it just showcased the whole house. But what I did and how I got that video was I was competing with another agent, and the other agent that I was competing with was best friends with the owner,
Uh-oh.
right? And I came in and presented a concept and idea, and it came into me when I was doing this appraisal. I said, you know what? You've got it was a yellow house. It was pretty boring to photograph. So I came up with this idea about how we do this. She fell in love with the idea and just went, bang, let's do it. And I signed it up and got it and I executed. And it cost about $3,000. I think it was about $700 to hire this Rolls Royce for like 1 hour.
Yeah.
But it just gets like the amount of views. I think it went up to 7,000 views
Yeah.
online, and it just huge. So I got coverage. But yeah, that was another video, and I've had a few others that have been big hits. But again, it's all about getting eyeballs.
It is, isn't it? And you said earlier when you started telling that story, competing for attention, and that is the summary of what everybody in real estate is trying to do. And there's two schools of thought. One school is I'll follow, this is the accepted way to do it, or this is not the accepted way to do it, or not the usual
Yeah,
way to do it. So, I've had Gary Vaynerchuk on the show, people like that, and like innovative marketers and cool thinkers who come up with a fresh idea. I guess we've seen video, the rise and rise of video and influencers
yeah,
nowadays. But this competition for attention is so big in real estate, and and the payday is enormous. We're not selling cameras or coffee cups or phones. It's a big payday when you win that listing and you make that sale. It also gives you entree into other, like your farming, your coding system within Bowen Heads
Yeah.
that you did.
Yeah.
Brilliant, by the way. I didn't know you were going to spill all of that, but that's a system and structure right there. But it's incredible. When you have the courage to do something a little bit different and think outside of the box, and you get the traffic and you get noticed and you get that attention, I think that's what really sets the agents of now and the agents of the future apart.
Yeah, yeah, and that's right. Like something that was different. My 2005, I did my very first auction, right? And my wife's a great one to keep me down to earth, but also challenge me to be different and don't be boring. So first auction, obviously shitting my pants, excuse the French, but I was nervous,
Been
obviously,
there,
and there's
been there.
and yeah, and but what my wife did, she bought. She said, "Let's just get a massive bag of lollies." And I was like, "Well, what are we doing with the lollies?" She said, "I want you to throw it out to the first bidder."
Right.
And no one had ever done that, right? So there I am as nervous, and as an auctioneer, until you get that first bid, you just you call and you call. So I presented for the no, opening respectable bid will be rewarded with this massive bag of lollies. Well, I got a bag of lollies out to a bidder, and the property ended up selling. And from there, I turned it into like a bottle of Moe. And then I went into dressing up themes as well for certain auctions as well to entertain the crowd, but be charismatic. But also at the same time, while I'm being a little bit entertaining and keeping it a bit of fun, that's marketing in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And the people in the crowd who are watching are seeing a high-end professional auctioneer perform. But what I mean perform, like I wouldn't read the rules. Like I wouldn't pick up a piece of paper and read the rules. I memorize them.
Right.
So I didn't stand there with a document or a contract in my hand at all for any of the auctions, where a lot of the auctioneers are standing there. Today's auction will be blah 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 blah, right? And they'll just read it all out. I can I can just say it all because I memorize and I put the hard work into it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
And because I wanted it to come across clean and polished and professional, but at the same time bring some entertainment into it. But what I'm doing there is actually marketing and creating a bit of fun and a vibe and a personality about who I am and who my brand is.
Yes.
So the community turn around and go, if I want to sell, they don't know at that particular point. I'm going to go with him. I want to talk with him
Yes.
and I want to have an opportunity. So it's becoming the entrusted agent before they actually even decide to sell, that you get an opportunity. And there's so many different layers that you've got to do this as an agent in the marketplace. And again, I've just highlighted one avenue about how I did an auction and many auctions a similar manner that created awareness of who I was in the
Yeah.
marketplace. And they would turn around and go back to the street of Barwon Heads, have a cup of coffee, and they'd go, "Oh, so to their friends, you should have seen the auctioneer. He was so fun, it was good, and he sold it as well." Blah, blah. And all of a sudden, you get known, right? And
Yeah. They
that,
remember you.
as I said at the beginning, I was born and bred in Sydney. How am I going to become known in this area and build market share?
Yeah.
So it was thinking outside the square and being different.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking about doing things for the first time, I'm always big on the show. I'm always big on the idea of giving our rookies, our newbies, a little bit of a leg up, a little bit of a hand.
Yeah.
It's it's never easy starting in real estate. And I think these stats are actually from North America, and I don't know if they apply to Oz and NZ, but they say that 80% of agents who start don't see their third year. So the attrition rate is exceptionally high in our industry, or exceedingly high. Give me your if you were going to speak to somebody in their first, I don't know, first 6 months, first year in real estate, what are some of the things, like two or three basics to focus on? The where's the low hanging fruit? What's the obvious thing to get some traction and win a listing and make a sale?
Yeah, it's been seen in the marketplace, just continually been seen. So I'm still very strong on there's not one avenue that is going to bring you business, you've got to be across all avenues,
Okay.
from social media to being seen in the street and having letterbox drops, letters, communicating to your market, doing videos and putting them out there and educating the marketplace. That, to me, there's not one particular answer, but you've got to cover it all.
Yeah.
And following through with everything that you say to someone, and you've got to give to get.
Yeah.
You've got to be providing content and information to your marketplace. So one thing that I've been saying a lot recently, and how I approached real estate back in 2005 or 2004 when I was started in the Barwon Heads market, was everyone who owned a house, in the average sale price of Barwon Heads that time was about $500,000. And I thought, now, if they had $500,000 worth of shares in Qantas, but if you had 500,000 shares in any company
Yep.
on the stock exchange, you would be watching it, not probably every day, you'd probably almost be watching it every hour to see how it's performing. Okay. Now, I took that philosophy and approach to real estate,
Right.
and thought, if I can provide the areas of the area codes and the entire area about how the marketplace is performing, what's the highest price sold, what's the lowest price sold, what's the median price, how many buyers came through your open for inspections on the weekend, how many properties have you sold and what were the prices, what was the variance price, so where did the price start, where did the sale prices end? If you can track all that, what's the current rental yield, what's the yield return, what's the average amount of tenants that are applying for homes, what's the amount of days on the market for a property? Okay. And now there's a number of statistics. Every human on earth loves easy reading of stats and facts.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
any new buyer in the marketplace can summarize and write a content message piece on the statistical facts and stats about their marketplace where they work.
Right.
And they can condense that into a one-page document that can then be distributed with their face and their name and their contact on it, and they can deliver it either by letterbox drop, door knock. They can deliver it by email. They can deliver it by social media, and they can deliver it by a text message to their marketplace.
Yep.
And then they can repeat that again monthly. And then they can go on door knock and say, we've got a market report that we're doing monthly, and it looks like this. Here's one for you. Would you like me to email you one on a continual basis? And hopefully they're home and they say, yes, we would. Can I grab your name, your email, and your mobile number? And we're going to, because we may save some trees, and we're going to start emailing this or SMSing it to you. But all of a sudden,
Love
there
it.
you go, you data.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Now, how long is that going to take for a new agent in the marketplace to actually do that? Might take you 6 months, might take you 12 months. But you know what the key thing is? Start.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've got all the statistical information online these days. You can make any report you want to make.
Well, once
about
you've got
a marketplace that's going to be relevant to the homeowners in the area where you're listing and selling.
Yeah, 100%. And once you got your template, you just rinse and repeat. So it's pretty straightforward.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Yep. Great advice, Christian. Yep. Great advice. Well, I think we might leave it there. Thank you so much for your time this morning or this evening, my time. Guys, if you'd like to connect with Christian, and I think you should, you just need to go to realmentor.com.au. Everything is there. Check out. There's a lot of great content on the site, mate. So congrats on that. It's brilliant. Check it out. And thank you so much for your time today.
All good, Ray. Thanks for having me.